Welcome to the Firebelly Social Show. We're focused on talking to food and beverage brands that are on a mission to make the world better.
Hey, everyone. It's Duncan here with another episode of the Firebelly Social Show, where we chat with founders and leaders of mission-driven food and beverage brands. And we got a great show lined up for you today with Michael Valenti. He's the president and CEO of the Great Spirits Baking Company. And I'm so excited. It's just such a fun company. They're doing such cool things. This episode is brought to you by Firebelly Marketing. At Firebelly, we help mission-driven food and beverage brands bring people closer together through social. So if you want to use social to get more community, get more excitement around your brand, go to firebellymarketing.com to learn more. And on to the interview. Michael Valenti is, as I said, the leader of the Great Spirits Baking Company. He's a 23-year food and beverage executive, with 17 of those years at the world's largest brewer. So why would anyone leave, right? But he jumped into this private equity opportunity to have more flexibility in his personal life, which I've already said to him, I love this, and be present with his family. They've built this company from the ground up with 4 employees, and they're on track to deliver positive EBITDA for the first time in 2023. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Duncan. Glad to be here.
We are so excited. Let's talk a little bit first about you before we talk about the Great Spirits Baking Company. You know, you've had an amazing career working with some really exceptional people and doing some really big things. How did you decide to jump into something so different?
Well, so I think it happened by chance. I ran into somebody that I used to know at Anheuser-Busch, and he said, "Hey, I want to have a coffee with you sometime soon. Or I'm working on something I think you might be interested in." And I said, "Okay." And I was actually getting ready to go play some old man soccer with some of my buddies, and he was just leaving with watching his son play. So it was kind of a just a chance meeting, and then we. A couple of weeks later, we met for coffee, and he started laying out a few things that him and a group of guys that he was involved with were, planning for acquisition of a few different companies inside of various, food and beverage, and then also some technical spaces. So, it was just really just started over coffee, and it was an interesting proposition. But I'd be lying if I said that I was instantly on board with, what they were telling me, because I just didn't have a lot of experience in the space, in this particular bakery space, obviously. So I did a little research, and I found that what they were doing, it was actually quite unique for the category. And still today, if you go into a grocery store, it's very common to see licensing and brands that you recognize that don't necessarily, live directly in that category in every other area of the store except for the bakery. So it was kind of it really became kind of an interesting opportunity. And, I guess I started to believe in the potential of what we could build, if we were able to get this deal done.
And so if I am, as I don't know much about the Great Spirits Baking Company, was going to describe it, you're combining some of the, premium spirits of the world with decadent cakes.
Yeah, at a very high level, that's exactly what we do. So we partner with globally recognized brands to, bring dessert style baked items to the marketplace at scale. With the same type of quality you would expect from the brands themselves. So everything that we do is, goes through a really intensive process of R&D and then product submission to the actual, brand owners to make sure that it aligns with their strategy as well as the taste profile and quality that they would expect for their brand. I mean, most of these brands are 150 plus years old, and they're not really looking to just flood the market with items. They want to make sure that they are, true to the brand ideals, and, and hopefully, bring some new life and new customers to their brands when they can see that there's other applications for their products other than just, sipping enjoyment at home. So, so it's been a really great ride. I mean, we started with one item in one brand, and we've since expanded to, we have over 30 SKUs now, and we have 5 brand partners that we work with, and we're always kind of looking at some additional partnerships, specifically in this space. But one of the things I'm really excited about is, going forward is we're really building a platform to do this across other brands as well. So not just so focused in on the spirits. So obviously inside of our company name is Great Spirits Baking Company. And you could assume, I guess, that that we were only dealing with spirits, but really that's not the case. It's really almost more of the mindset of the people that work here. We are, we're a small team, but we are, we've known each other a long time. One of my key personnel I probably hired with, at my previous company, 20 years ago, so it's been a great ride, and and we really enjoy all working together and coming in and kind of collaborating to bring this thing to life. So yeah, it's been a really crazy 5 years.
It's like the little double entendre, it's like, yeah, you started with the Great Spirits in terms of like the brands, but then you all are always in Great Spirits and you're doing cool things. And the mission, if I'm not mistaken, is to make different experiences and occasions in life more memorable.
Correct. Yeah. So, I mean, we want to make everything just a little bit more special, right? I mean, if you get invited over to someone's house, normally, maybe not normally, but it's not uncommon to bring a gift or bring something with you, whether it's a bottle of wine or an appetizer and those types of things. So, one of the things that does get gifted, obviously, like people will bring a tray of cookies or a plate of brownies or something like that they've bought at the grocery store that is, maybe the grocery store label. And, it's nice, and people will probably pick over it, at some part of the party, but it's not really a conversational piece. But, bringing a Bailey's Irish cream cheesecake to a party is kind of a different experience, right? It has a more premium feel, and, it feels a little more special, and, it's going to be something that when people are there, they're going to be interested to try, because it's maybe not something that they're, used to seeing or something that they've tried previously, but the brand sounds good. And, the cake, portion of it, makes sense for the occasion. So, that's what we try to do, is we try to make, ordinary occasions a little bit more special, like, and elevate the occasion, and, and hopefully shine, spotlight and shine on the brand that we're using in that particular product as, something that people take another look at when they go to retail as well, so we kind of push and pull, we leverage their, brand recognition, and we're hoping that our customers that we're bringing in are now in turn going out to seek out that brand at the shelf at retail as well.
I mean, I gotta say that in the rare, speaking of Bailey's, in the rare couple of occasions where I've ended up with Carol Ann's or some other knockoff, even if the taste were to be the same, there's so much emotional cachet around Bailey's or Jack Daniels. I mean, you travel overseas, man, Jack Daniels is a big deal. I mean, it may be a bigger deal overseas than it even is in the US, with all the craft stuff going on. But man, Jack Daniels, it's like, I'm having a Jack and Coke, or I'm having a Jack on the rocks. And so I can completely feel what you're saying. And those people that bring the store-bought cookies, you're right. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's like, thanks, but I don't really care about your store-bought cookies,
Yeah. No, it's interesting. Like, when I was just at a restaurant in Winter Park, Florida, I was there for a board meeting, and I'm, it's a fairly trendy place, and I'm looking around this place, right? And I'm kind of seeing what everybody's ordering at the bar. I think that there's like, there's what people order on premise, like when they're trying to aspire and they're out for like a bigger night out, and then what they actually do at home, and I think sometimes that gets, a little lost in the numbers, because like, there's obviously still huge volumes behind brands like Jack Daniels and Bailey's. They're in a lot of home bars, but they may not be what, that might be what their go-to is at home, but it may not be what they get when they go out. They may, grab something a little bit more premium, higher up on the shelf, whatnot. So, our product actually seems to got to transcend that a little bit. It doesn't, we are the high end when it comes to bakery, and so people looking at our items, I mean, it is it's either an inspirational or aspirational purchase, or, they're looking to treat themselves or treat someone else with something a little bit, less ordinary, I guess, from the category.
And there's a guy on our team, Nicholas, and, we have these icebreaker questions, and Nicholas's favorite thing in the world to consume is cheesecake. So I'm going to have to tell him, listen, baby, I got news for you, because there's a next level cheesecake that you got to try. So
yeah, the Bailey's cheesecake is incredible. And quite honestly, our Pellini Limoncello cheesecake, really is quite interesting and has a great taste profile as well. And so we're really happy with both of those.
So Michael, clearly, like, your world is kind of a combination of two worlds. It's spirits and baking. And, how do you stay on top of the trends? I mean, you have to pick things that are classic, but yet, there's some trend. There's a part of it that's trend-based too. What do you look at in this situation when you're adding, and growing to 30 SKUs? What are you looking at?
Well, I mean, we're always, before I never, I still, to this day, I still walk the beer section and, kind of see what's going on and how the category management looks, but now I've kind of accustomed to doing the same thing in the bakery category. Of course, as we go to trade shows, I'm kind of looking to see what's new and cool. But, I think for us, I mean, one of the things we look at is, where are the areas that we can really compete? Because there's some types of items that we just, because we're a premium item, I mean, you can't compete on price on some things. It's a big reach for, grocery, but, we really try to focus our energy on things that we can do at scale. So we're not necessarily doing like boutique one-off things like cake pops or, things that are really labor intensive. We try to do things that, we can be very efficient at, with our partners that help us, and that are familiar enough to, an ordinary consumer that they're, that they would be willing to take a chance on it, or pay $1 more or pay $2 more than what they would for their ordinary things. So, we look at what are the trends within the category. And then, we try to make sure we have items that align to that. And we try to, quite honestly, I mean, we do have like a little bit of a pack price strategy as well. I mean, we try to hit, make sure we have items that hit certain price buckets as well, because everything we make is always going to be a premium price to something else that you would see, that's similar. So, we fight that battle a little bit, both from the retailer and, maybe even from the customer standpoint, like, well, I can buy something like this that costs less, or I can make it at home. Yeah, you can make it at home. Sure. Anybody could, I guess, if you had the time and you had the resolve, you definitely could, but a lot of people don't have the time. And, we step in and we take care of, make it easy, and you can pick it up and take it home and enjoy, or, pick it up, take it home and give it to someone else, let them enjoy. But, our big thing right now is, we're still trying to build awareness of, the brand. I mean, you didn't ask, and I don't know if you will ask, but I'll just tell you quickly. When we started putting together this business plan, right? I mean, this company had no meaningful revenue. What was bought was, the ability to use the Jack Daniels licensing mark. There was a couple of little gift box cakes that were available in specialty stores only. At very low volumes. The bakery that was making it, that particular product, had a very limited amount of capacity of what they could make in a day, like maybe, several hundred cakes, but like nothing that I could actually go talk to a big retail customer to get them to buy in on, because there just wouldn't have been enough production time in the year to achieve kind of what we, the type of scale that we are now doing. But we worked really hard, from the time we closed on the company, which was June of 2018, right around the 1st of June 2018, because we had to basically throw away everything that we had. I mean, there was very little that was commercially viable, that we could take on. So, we had to find partners, from an R&D perspective. I mean, like I said, there's 4 of us and none of us are bakers. We're sales and marketing and finance people. So, we had to go out and, build partnerships and whatnot to do that. And, it took us more than a year to have something that was commercial, that we felt was commercially ready and that was approved by our partners to actually take out for sale. And, so we got some really quick wins once we launched, which was November of 2019 with actual product. And I still remember to this day, like the last big word, we were really excited about it because, we're a small company. We're trying to get some big wins. And we got a big order from BJ's, which is a club chain primarily on the East Coast. And it was the last order that I shipped in 2020. It was March 3rd of 2020. I remember that very clearly. And I was actually planning to go to California with my family, for kind of a little break right there at St. Patrick's Day where we used to live, see some friends. And I think it was like the 15th of March that Disneyland closed down and, everything started to shut down and that was really bad for us, so drawing up the business plan, I didn't plan for the pandemic by any means, and being a new product launching, trying to go to market where no one knows the Great Spirits Baking Company. You're not a vendor that's set up in anybody's systems. All of these buyers end up going remote. They're not working in offices. They don't want to give out their home addresses to send sample, so there's this, litany of, roadblocks that we just kept on kind of running into. It was like we were ready to go and then we like hit a brick wall. And, so we had a really tough and lean 2020 and really kind of going into 2021, a lot of that, type of, carried over just because some places were more slow to go back to business as usual as others. I mean, we were doing everything we could to try to engage consumers and, and the retailers to try to buy in, but it was a really tough time. So thankfully we had, a few customers that believed in us early on and, they really allowed us to kind of grow to where we are today and, keep the doors open, I guess, through the pandemic. So sorry for that tangent, but it's an important part of our story, I guess.
I mean, and the thing that kind of, I just was recently in India and I was talking to a friend and he said to me, he says, it's like the pandemic didn't happen for a lot of people. Like people don't want to talk about it. People don't want to talk about how they made it through. They don't want to talk about how they got impacted. I mean, our company lost, 70% of its revenue instantly. And marketing is the first to go, right? And so it's interesting. I'm so glad that you brought that up because the fact that you made it through and the resilience and the commitment that you and your team have demonstrated and the partners that you had, it's just really, I'm so glad. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, of course.
What are you excited about, for what's coming up for the company?
Well, so next week we're actually there. We have a food show that we're attending out in Las Vegas. I personally not this time because my wife will be in India. So 2 of the members of the team are going to be handling that. But we're actually launching a new rum cake, and this is the reason I'm excited about this is one, we kind of created this brand from the, as far as like it's not a rum that you can buy in the store, but we created the brand, to really compete in the space that we quite honestly have a gap in. But but we have a group, 4 really great tasting rum cakes that we're going to show at the Fancy Food Show and kind of garner some feedback. We've got our kind of first to market packaging that we're going to, be getting some feedback on. And then of course, obviously the sampling feedback from customers, but, we're looking to hopefully have this product, at least at a very minimum on our Amazon store, by February, with plans to go, be in market, through the summer. And, of course, these will be everyday items for us going forward. But what's interesting about this is it's a little bit of a pivot from what we do now, which is all branded stuff. So we have a brand, but this item also, because we own the brand, we can do some things that we currently can't do, with our other brands, because, obviously our partners, we have to be very respectful of their brand messaging and, and make sure that we're always aligned with their platform. So sometimes things like social media and, advertising, when you can't talk in your own voice, and you can't be spontaneous and quick, and you're having to, submit things in for approvals, sometimes you miss the moment, and, this will be kind of our first opportunity to, see what kind of fun we can have with the brand, and we can private label it as well. So, that's, unfortunately, it's one of the trends that, we can't really fight too hard against. I mean, we are branded and, and we're very proud of that. And we believe we believe customers are always going to be willing to pay more for brands than they would be for, a private label item, for instance. But so many of the, the big retailers, they want to have a private label brand, and they want to have something. So, we really can't do that with our other brands. It doesn't make sense. I don't think consumers would think it makes sense either. But with this, we can test the water and see, we can see what happens. And, like I said, the product we're really proud of. And I think it's going to be a really nice new piece. And then separate to that, we're working on some non-alc stuff that as I said, so we kind of continue to explore some partnerships outside of the alcohol category, still to be under this platform, most likely. But, I really think that could be the growth engine of our company, going forward, because, the spirit base is obviously age gated. So, the customer base is 21, we're targeting legal drinking age. Obviously in the US is 21 plus, for these items, but, there's obviously opportunities with other types of properties that we can reach, maybe even a much larger audience, and, maybe on more occasions and on an everyday basis. So, I don't want to give too much information away, because we have a few things that we think are really, really interesting and, could be big, but we're not quite ready yet. So more to come on that, I guess.
I mean, I got a couple of thoughts of just my responses are, so, I guess maybe it's a British thing, but like, Christmas cake, for example, is all over the colonies. So the former colonies, people eat Christmas cake, right? And so I was just in India, and man, ordering rum cake is like the premium thing. Like, rum cake is the premium. It's like you can have all these other cakes, fruit cakes, but rum cake. So I had the rum cake, and I'm so excited now. I liked it very much. I'm so excited to try yours. But the other question is, can we, and maybe you can't answer this, but can we expect that maybe the rum will be available at some point?
Yeah, I don't know that we're going to start distilling any rum here. Honestly, if I was going to make a spirit, rum would be like one of the ones that would be easier to make, because you can pretty much get all the ingredients at the grocery store to make it. So it's not it's not crazy to try to make rum. But no, I think we're going to, I will probably stay outside of that lane. I mean, launching a liquor brand is a much different proposition. And,
hey, maybe somebody will
someday, maybe we'll put it on the someday maybe shelf. But I think for right now, we'll focus in on the bake.
Well, maybe someone will come to you and say, hey, can we license your name for our rum?
Yeah, in that case, I'm open for business for sure.
That's super awesome. I'm really excited about the Fancy Food Show. I've never been. It's been on my list for a couple of years now. We're going to Expo West and some other things, but That sounds like a great time. I'm trying to think of, I think, is it Nolan Lewis, who was at the, gosh, it's escaping me now, the New Jersey Innovation Group, who's one of the judges at the Fancy Food Show. So I'll have to connect you guys. But what do you do, Michael? You're such a fascinating guy. You got a family. You've done some amazing things. What does a guy like you do for fun?
Well, that's a good question. So I go to the gym in the morning, like early, before the kids are awake, and just to kind of get a little something in. But if I'm doing something for fun, I grew up playing soccer like my whole life. I'm going to be 46 here, and I don't know, very quickly. But I'm still playing, what I call old man soccer.
That's awesome.
With a bunch of, some of these guys I've been playing with since I was in kindergarten. But others, are guys I met in college or after college. But there's a group of us, and, we're the oldest team in the league, but we're usually, the best team, so I still get out there and play with, all the, we play against, all the guys are right out of college and all that, it's still a lot of fun. So that's one thing I like to do. And, separate to that, I mean, I enjoy spending time with, my wife and kids. I mean, the kids are involved in a ton of activities. I coach multiple kids soccer teams. My daughter does competitive cheerleading, so I'll be going to Indianapolis this weekend to help with that. We love to travel and kind of see new places and do stuff with the kids. And it's amazing, like when I think about like all the things my kids have seen at their ages, and how long it took me to get to where I was even wherever I left the country. So it's so we try to just do things as family. And then like I said, kids have a ton of activities, so we are usually running a lot of directions just to kind of support them. And so that's a lot of fun. And that kind of becomes your social crew as well, because you spend so much time with these people at all these things. And
totally. Michael, you've been so kind with your time today. How can people find the product, and how can people find you?
Yeah, so I mean, we do have a website, obviously. The website's www.greatspiritsbakingcompany.com. So we do have a few items that you can buy directly from our website, but our most popular SKU is actually available through, there's a link through our website to take you to our Amazon web store. So that's if you're want to go the digital route. But if you're looking for brick and mortar, I mean, we're very fortunate. We sell many of the top grocers in the country. And one of the things about our business that we're trying to obviously smooth out is the seasonality of our business, because we get a lot of seasonal business. So obviously for us, like holiday, is winter holidays are big. We just completed a program with Walmart nationally. We've done several programs with Costco in Texas over this year. We sell many of the divisions of Albertsons, Safeway. We sell Ahold. We sell Publix. We sell, so we have a bunch of big retail customers. Actually, one of my folks is at HEB for a show tomorrow down in Texas. So yeah, I mean, we're our main business is brick and mortar, grocery and club. We do sell some convenience as well. We have some wrapped product. But yeah, I mean, we're really trying to, push the business through traditional grocery, best we can. And then, we do have some offerings that people can buy every day, through Amazon as well on our web store. The rum cakes will be available on the web store here before they're in brick and mortar, most likely, just because we can move faster there.
And then Michael Valenti on LinkedIn.
That sounds right. Yes.
Sounds great. Well,
you know what? You asked me about items that I'm excited about. So one of the items I think that is, one of the items that we're just getting ready to produce, and it's primarily going to land on the East Coast, but there'll be a little bit of distribution, I believe, on the West Coast, is our Guinness Irish soda bread.
Ooh.
So like I said, we do some seasonal type things, and this is probably the most seasonal item we make. So there's a very, very specific window where Irish soda bread does well in grocery. But we've got a Guinness Irish soda bread that, if you're on the East Coast, we've got a few big retailers that are going to be picking that product up, and it's great. So, we're really excited about that. Who knows, down the road, maybe we can get a partnership with, the Irish butter in the store, and, we can, drive some sales for them, and hopefully they can drive some sales for us as well.
I mean, it's interesting because zero proof and alcohol free is definitely a very strong emerging trend. And so I think it's very, very prudent that you guys are looking at that, because I think that we'll start to see, I mean, White Claw's in the space now. There's we've had Tilden, the founders of Tilden, on our show, and Laura from the Zero Proof Nation. I think it's a very smart move on your part, because I think there's a lot of people that are not wanting to have anything to do with alcohol, but they want premium products. And so I think that, congratulations to how you guys are rolling. And before I forget, thank you, not just for coming to the show, but for making the world a better place. So I really appreciate you and your time.
Yeah, of course. No, we do our best, of course. And then, we are, I would be remiss to say we are always actively looking for ways to, align our products with, a better world, initiatives. I mean, traditionally bakery is, very plastic laden, and, many of our products that you'll see, may not look like traditional grocery items because they're actually in boxes, which is a little different for bakery because everybody's, you eat with your eyes. So, so we do have some items obviously that fall into that category, but, we really try to look for, sustainable ways to, bring the products to market, and, try to minimize our footprint best we can. I mean, we source nearly everything domestically and produce everything domestically here as well, almost exclusively on the East Coast. So, yeah, we're definitely excited about some of these, separate ventures that we're looking at right now. I think that, there's going to be some interesting, insurgents in the space, not just us, of course. And obviously we want to lead it, but, we're obviously we're aware that others are taking note now as to what we're doing, and eventually they'll be in the space as well.
Again, congratulations on all your work. Thank you for coming on the show today. Thank you, Michael Valenti from the Great Spirits Baking Company. And you've been listening to another episode of the Firebelly Social Show. I'm your host, Duncan Olney, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for listening to the Firebelly Social Show. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.